Tokyo, Japan. My goodness, what a blessing and dream come true it is to finally be here. It may not look like it because I'm in the middle of the forest by the Buddhist temple. Don't know on the top of my head what the name is, put it down below. But this city really has it all. One of the most stimulating places I've ever been to, and I've been traveling through quite a few big cities recently, such as London, Istanbul, etc. And this one, it's incredible. It's truly a choose your own adventure, something interesting around every corner. And the fact that everything is, for one, I'll say that this is my first time in East Asia. So just the fact that the alphabet is completely different, it really makes everything seem exotic as compared to what I'm used to. Just your average street corner feels completely different because of all of the Japanese kanji that describes probably relatively basic things, but for someone that's never been to East Asia, it's so unique and there's just so much to take in, especially given that in Japan they love a lot of interesting things. There's so many quirks, there's animal cafes, there's big neon lights, there's a bunch of interesting food that isn't typical in the West or in the US. So I've been loving it so far. I've been bouncing around and really trying to process, and wow, there's just so much to take in. Shibuya Crossing really is the perfect symbol of Tokyo. Curated chaos. It's so dense with so many people, but it just works. And that's what impressed me about Tokyo in general. Everything just runs smoothly. All of the little things. Public transport, bathroom cleanliness, convenience stores. There's vending machines everywhere. And all of this speaks to the sense of intentionality that permeates the distinct culture in Japan. It also just feels extremely safe given how dense the city is. It's such a massive megacity, and I barely scratched the surface of all that it has to offer, so I know I'll be back. One of the really unexpected things for me about visiting Tokyo so far is just the nostalgia I felt here and realizing how much of Japanese culture, especially in the 90s and early 2000s, really impacted my upbringing. So I went to Akihabara, which is an entertainment center with a lot of arcades and places to buy trading cards and things of that nature. And I saw a bunch of Yu-Gi-Oh cards and Pokemon cards, and really brought me back to my elementary school days, and went to a place called Super Potato that sold old Nintendo systems like SNES in perfect condition and old PlayStation 1s. And I grew up playing all the PlayStation consoles, and it really just made me realize how much of Japanese culture impacted my upbringing. Like, I used to love Dragon Ball Z, and it's cool to reconnect to that here and really understand also why I've always thought that Japanese culture is so exotic. Like I mentioned before, the alphabet in Japanese kanji is one thing because it makes simple things seem so abstract, but I think I always just felt it was so different growing up, not knowing that ultimately when you go and visit new places, one of the things that's always a common denominator for me is realizing that we're all people. We all want the same things. We all want to love and be loved and want to have connection and things of that nature and to be valued, all of that. But obviously there's cultural nuances, and so it's cool to come here and really see that for myself. Akihabara, that was definitely one of my favorite spots so far.
One really good way to eat the sushi is you flip it upside down so that goes right on.
Oh, right on the tongue. That's the look of satisfaction right there. All right, so I'm here with my friend Jackson. I've reunited with after a very long time. He took me to an amazing little cozy, intimate standing sushi experience here in Shibuya. And I thought I had a lot of good sushi in my life in the US, but everything melted in your mouth. So I really appreciate you taking me to that spot. How would you say that compares to other sushi in Tokyo? Is it like pretty standard, or why would you say that's one of your favorite spots?
I would say to me it's like that perfect match between price and value, it's like cheap. It's like $2, but it's really good. And I would say that there's definitely elevated places, but you're like jumping up a pretty significant price margin. You're starting to pay like $100 plus.
Yeah, we were paying what, like $1 or $2 per piece?
Yeah, we both got full, and in total it was 5,000 yen.
Yep.
So like $30, like $15 a person.
Unbelievable.
Dude, how often do you get full off of sushi in the States?
No, for that quality, I would pay at least like 80 to 100 easily in the US.
Yeah,
if not more. Yeah, that was amazing.
Okay, this would be like $50 in a sushi restaurant in the US. It's $10.
Dude, my mind is blown. The quality is unmatched. And this caviar right here, look, it's an entire tray of caviar for like $5 US. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Bro, I might have to move here. My goodness. Award-winning grapes. Jackson describes them as literally perfect. All right, what are we looking at here?
The award-winning melons. They're like $70.
Oh my god, they're cradled like babies.
Perfect melons. Perfect melons.
Wow, they look amazing. Like a bum.
Presentation.
This is where the emoji comes from.
That is the beach emoji.
And the almighty Gundam statue that apparently everyone in Japan goes crazy for. So I'm very glad that Jackson randomly hit me up on Instagram because I had no idea he was in Tokyo, and now we're going to Ultra Japan. And it's hilarious because the Japanese have a very polite, reserved culture. So it'll be very interesting to see how the expression is here.
Your random misadventures. Let's go.
Oh yeah, this is electric. Ultra Japan! I cannot believe that we are here right now, but we're doing it. Let's go.
Let's go.
Relaxing in Ueno Park in the National Museum was a perfect way to balance out the sights and sounds that make up the organized chaos that is Tokyo. And in learning a little bit about the history of Japan, it's fascinating to better understand the interplay of cultural spread within the sphere of influence in East Asia, like the spread of rice farming, for example, from China to Japan through the Korean Peninsula. However, despite the history of cultural exchange in the region, Japan has clearly built and maintained a very distinct identity with the help of geographic isolation, as an island, and closed foreign policy that really only started opening up after the Edo period ended just 150 years ago. And one of the ways you see this manifest that I personally really appreciated is the visible sense of mindfulness in the collectivist culture, as there's a great degree of personal and mutual professional respect that you see in how people seem to really take their job seriously, no matter how big or small, which for me comes as a bit of a contrast to the individualistic cultural melting pot that I experienced growing up in the United States. And that's not to say that any culture is perfect by any means, but it was unique for me to observe the customs of such an ethnically and culturally homogenous country. Finally, as mentioned earlier, this trip really brought upon a massive sense of nostalgia for me that I wasn't really mentally prepared for. Aside from Japanese video games and entertainment that I enjoyed growing up, I remember my parents would sometimes take us to a Japanese restaurant called Tokyo One when I was probably, 6 or 7. And we didn't go out to eat much, so I really loved this restaurant, especially because it showcased these beautifully exotic Japanese art pieces, and it had an ice cream machine that I always looked forward to indulging in. And it's just crazy how these long-term childish associations stick with us, and it's really special to occasionally tap into that deep nostalgia, which makes me so grateful to finally experience the magnificence of Tokyo for myself. It's really such an incredible city, and I can't wait to explore it more one day. So with that, thank you for tuning into my journey through Asia. I hope you enjoyed watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day. See you in the next one. Peace.